Speaking with reporters on the sidelines of the signing of a MOU with the Guyana-Ghana Chamber of Commerce on oil and other sectors, the Gcci president posited that there is no time now left to have these legislations in place with the current political climate. In fact, Boyer noted that these are things that should have been done already, especially with mere months remaining before oil production commences.
These things have been talked about almost a year or two now. If we could look at the date that the Petroleum Commission bill was laid over, we could look at the date that the first consultant, Anthony Paul, was hired for the draft local content policy. These didn't start yesterday. So, I mean, if I had to say, are we doing a good job in terms of implementing? No, because we've spent monies, we've taken action, but it's failed. If I were to give my 2 cents on why it failed, I don't think there was enough pressure or push or thrust for local content policy, because if there was, it would have been done by now. And I don't think that the Petroleum Commission bill was done in a national consensus way.
According to Boyer, in order for this budding industry to become viable, there needs to be consensus, especially at the political level.
Unless we have national consensus on some things that should be born out of national consensus, we can have these types of issues where a no confidence motion can affect us implementing a Petroleum Commission bill. That could have been implemented long before the no confidence motion. And if it was bought into by the opposition and the government, they had done it in a way that, look, whatever fights we're going to have at election time and everything, let's put that aside. Let's look at this as a national issue and come together. They've done it with Venezuela, to be fair. So there is an example of them having that type of consensus before.
Furthermore, the Gcci president noted that the management of oil resources needs to be without or minimal political influence.
If anything, the headlines of the previous weeks have taught us, right, is that this industry should be inoculated from political control as much as can be. You will always have some amount of political influence if you're going to have an appointee heading the regulatory body. But if you take a model where that appointee is there for a period outside of basic election timelines, he can be relatively insulated and feel comfortable that he can carry out his function without fear of reprisal, right? Because at the end of the day, this is a national resource.
Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manikchand.